The function of interest groups. In looking at the Federalist Papers, you can see how the United States political system was characterized and created from established groups who had differing opinions about how best to form a new government. In Federalist number 44, James Madison writes in 1787, "We are brought to this undeniable conclusion, that no part of the power is unnecessary or improper for accomplishing the necessary objects of the Union. The question, therefore, whether this amount of power shall be granted or not, resolves itself into another question, whether or not a government commensurate to the exigencies of the Union shall be established, or, in other words, whether the Union itself shall be preserved." The anti-federalist position found in the Debates on the Constitution in Letters from the Federal Farmer, written in 1787, responds by stating that "there appears to me to be only a premature deposit of some important powers in the general government, but many of those deposited there are undefined, and may be used to good or bad purposes as honest or designing men shall prevail." Even the overall fight over the ratification of the proposed Constitution was waged on party lines. Federalists supported ratification. Anti-Federalists opposed ratification. In this case, the policy agenda was the adoption of the new Constitution. Once the Constitution was ratified, two parties evolved. The Federalist Party, headed by Alexander Hamilton and made up of the country's upper class, supported a strong national government and set a policy agenda that would solve the nation's economic problems. In doing so, the party appealed to business interests such as manufacturing and trade. It believed in a loose construction or liberal interpretation of the Constitution. The opposition party, the Democratic Republicans, led by Thomas Jefferson after his return from France, where he was the United States ambassador, was characterized as the party of the common man. It believed in a more limited role of the central government and was considered to be strict constructionists, which is characterized by a belief in a conservative interpretation of the Constitution. Its constituency was farmers, merchants, and the middle class of American society. The party was afraid of a powerful president and believed that Congress should be the main cog of government. As you can see, these two parties had divergent views, resulting in differing policy objectives. Ultimately, the Democratic Republicans prevailed. The Federalist Party failed and eventually faded from the scene.